this is my book analysis on the book Dragon Pearl by Yoon Lee. So for a quick summary, of the plot, we have Min, our main character, who is a 13-year-old she's a 13-year-old gumiho, which is basically kind of translated as like a nine-tailed fox in Korean mythology, or a fox spirit. And so in the book, gumihos are kind of stereotyped as bad. I mean, they're not trustworthy. And so they also have powers like they're able to shapeshift, use this specific type of magic called charm, which I believe kind of it basically manipulates people's emotions and their feelings, or how they feel at the moment in a situation, or basically to influence others to do what the charm user or the fox spirit wants them to do or wants them to feel. So in Dragon Pearl, we are main character Min. She lives in one of the deserted or not the best planets. That planet is called Jeonju. So Jeonju is kind of like abandoned. It's very poor. It's not very lavish with plants or greens, or very beautiful looking. So she lives in Jeonju with her mother, her cousins, and I believe 3 aunts or 3 grandmas, elders. And she also has an older brother named Jun. And we learned that Jun deserted his post. So Jun is I believe they call a space cadet, space forces. He's in the space forces. So he had left to join the space forces, and Min and her family learned that Jun deserted his post, and they believe it's because he went looking for the Dragon Pearl. So Dragon Pearl is basically like this it's a mythical artifact that is believed to like create worlds out of nowhere. So the reason as to why they're saying Jun had deserted his post, deserted his responsibility as a space cadet or in the space forces, was so that he can go find the Dragon Pearl, and they're assuming that he's going there to use it for bad, but in the book, Min and Jun often talked many times about how they would love to use the Dragon Pearl, or like not love to use the Dragon Pearl. It was more like, so they want their planet Jeonju, I believe, if I recall correctly, that's what it's called, they want to help their planet. They want to help the people who live in that planet, because they live in one of the worst planets. It's not the best. It's not very environmental free. It's not lavish. But anyways, so when Min and her family learned that, Min ends up kind of running away from home, because they found one not the inspector, but there was a man or a stranger who's from the space forces as well, who came and informed the family of Jun's disappearance, or his desertion. And so he finds out that Min and her family are fox spirits, and as I said earlier, fox spirits are kind of looked down upon. No one really likes them. And so when that space cadet learns of the family's identity, many things happen where Min's mom and her aunties are talking behind Min's back, saying that they should send Min off to like a relative far away, but still on the same planet, of course. But and Min overhears this, but instead of being deserted, thrown away. She runs away from home to try to find her brother because she strongly believes that her brother did not deserve his post. She believes something that like there's more to the story than that. So while Min is on this journey to find her brother, she heavily relies on her fox magic, her fox powers. So she shapeshifts a lot. She uses her charm to kind of to change her appearance, and then people see her as a much older girl, a teenager, a 16-year-old when she's 13. So she looks a bit older, looks a bit more fitting the age or fitting like the profile of what is appropriate in Jinju or what's appropriate for like the space forces. I believe, and so she ends up like using her charm. I believe it was her charm. She ends up using her charm to kind of like to take place or like to disguise herself as a Space Force cadet. But the thing is that this cadet is turns out to be a dead person. So I kind of thought that was a bit, not a bit scary, but like kind of interesting, because yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting that they kind of have, because I wouldn't have expected like deaths in this book. It's very interesting. The twist and the plot twist, or yes, it was interesting. So yeah, and basically this book had a lot of like, you wouldn't expect it to have, you would just expect it to be a simple adventure book, but there's like a lot of, there's actually like political and hierarchy theories that are the concept of hierarchies that it's in this book. So it is like a novel, it is just a chapter book, so there are not any images except for the visuals we see on the front cover and the back cover. So on the front cover, this is Min. She's standing very confidently. We can see she's looking off, and I love this little detail of the fox spirit. It's drawn very beautifully. So we can see that Min is kind of on a rocky surface, and we can kind of assume that that could be Jinju, her home planet. And then her fox spirit energy, I believe so. It is pretty bright, but it's more, I feel like because of the color of the cover, it's deep red, it's dark, right? I think because of that, the cover kind of hints at you that this book is a little more mature, or has like a little bit more mature, or like yeah, mature, what is the word? It's not just like a children's book. Like there are some mature and grown or adult themes in this book. There you go. And then yeah, so but those still, I think the colors are still very beautiful. It's very nice. It looks very, it gives a type of aesthetic pleasing. It's type of aesthetic that's very pleasing. Dragon Pearl does fit into many categories. It is fictional. It's like a science fictional because they rely on like drones and like a lot of space stuff, like, you know, space forces. So there's like spaceships, and they're mechanical. Yes, there's like a lot of futuristic. There you go, futuristic technology, like starships. There you go, military bases, and there's an advanced space society, like the space forces. I really like how it falls into like folklore, or like a cultural folklore mythology. This falls into Korean mythology. We have Gumihos, which is our fox spirits, our nine-tailed fox, and we have dragon spirits, tigers, There's this other one that I'm not too sure how to pronounce, but oh, I forgot. Yeah, but it's basically goblins, I believe. Goblins in Korean culture. Let me see if I can find a photo. There you go. Sorry, the book does have images of the foxes or dragons, like, or tigers. Yes, and then like it does, like, going back to the themes or genres, it's more like adventure and mystery as well, because Min is going on a journey to find her brother, to uncover the truth of his desertion. Yeah, and she uses like her powers, like shape-shifting and charm, so that also falls into like a fantasy, or like yes, fictional. One quote that I like from the book is when Min kind of reminisces back on a conversation with her brother Jun. So it's this is Jun saying, "I want to learn how to help Jinju to make life better for everyone here." So for that, I think when I read that, it tells you, like, it makes you think if Jun had really like deserted his post to go find the dragon pearl, or like it really makes you think what is the truth and what's not the truth. Like, as a first time reader for it, and like reading that, it made me think, I believe he may have deserted his post. Like, I believe June probably like partnered up with like a group of people to find the dragon pearl, and we would have a big twist where June has become like quote unquote a villain. But yeah, so I think that quote kind of makes you think about the story more. Some strengths from the book, I would say that we have some very strong and diverse characters. We have Min, who's a strong-willed, very determined protagonist. She is flawed, so I think that gives readers like a good idea or a good understanding that it's okay to be flawed. Like, of course, that no one is perfect. And we also have I forgot their names, but we have a dragon spirit. We have a dragon spirit, and then we have the goblin, who is non-binary. So I did not expect that to be a theme in this book, but I think that was a great inclusion, because then that's when the students or readers, younger readers, can start to like critically think, oh, what is non-binary, and then they can like, it's a great start to open up their minds on different perspectives and different communities and different lives. It's, you know, going back to like Korean mythology, it's rich in culture. I like that, because I wouldn't have thought that there would be a book about Korean mythology, kind of, if that makes sense, because I think many books are heavily, like, it's, for me, I think it's hard to find books that connect with Asian communities or Asian cultures. Everything is like white American, Black Americans, or Hispanic Americans, and of course that's amazing still, but as an Asian minority, I think it was really great that I was able to read a book that kind of focused on a specific Asian culture and their mythology. I would also like to add that another strength would be like it's okay, the fact that it's this, I think the story was a little fast-paced, so that could be right in the middle of a weak and a strengthness, or weak and a strength, I'm so sorry. But because it's fast-paced, I think students might enjoy it a bit more, because it might be, if it was not fast-paced, if it was more of a slower book, I think students might lose interest quickly. So because it was fast-paced, I think that's a good pro. A little con that I didn't really like was how it felt too easy. The way that Min, like, I don't think she had enough setbacks, if that makes sense. Like, she had a lot of, like, she was escape her first escape, she escaped pretty easily. Like, when I was first reading it, I thought she would have gotten caught by the space cadets, but she made it out successfully. Well, her only setback was that she did lose her, I believe, her bag and her jades, but that wasn't like a major setback because she was still able to go on the ship and find who she needed to find in order to keep moving on in her journey. As for grade levels and age appropriateness, I would say this book is honestly, like, 5th grade to 8th grade is pretty good. I think because I have a brother who's in, I have a couple siblings who are in between the ages of not ages, grades, 5th and 7th grade, and I think reading a book like this, they would definitely be able to read a book like this. Like, there's not any strong language, and even so, they would still be able to use context clues from the book to kind of understand what that word is. So like age levels would be like 10 to 14, even 15, even 21. I'm 21, so I think this book, you know, even though this book is more intended for younger audiences, I still found some joy in reading it. It was very interesting. Had a good amount of plot twists that I did not expect from this book. Going back to the language is very clear and it's easy for younger readers, like from 5th graders or 10-year-olds, to understand and kind of conclude. The themes are good as well. I think the themes that come from this book are the types of themes or like main ideas or lessons that are already being taught to students in these grade levels. Like, there are political themes in here, but around 7th grade, students are already learning about like politics and history. So I think it matches very well. It goes well with like the grade level from 5th grade to about like 8th grade or 9th grade. A classroom use that or classroom activity that can be used would kind of be creating your own passport badge, because in this story Min has a passport badge in which she looks like a 16-year-old because she uses her charm magic. But yes, so for this activity, students would be able to explore characteristics, mythology, and world building by creating a personal spirit creature identity badge, which is inspired by the story or the book Dragon Pearl. So mainly for this one, I would love for students to explore more than just like Korean mythology. I would love to like see, like, for me, the objective of this activity is to explore different cultures and their mythology and their folklore and see what kind of resonates with them or what they really like, that looks visually appealing to them. So it would choose a mythical creature or invent one, and then each student would create a spirit creature passport that would include a name and age, their creature type, and then some powers. They can make up a home planet if they want, and then a drawing or a digital illustration, like they can get it from the internet, that kind of like that's close enough to what they would like their creature to look like. And then just a short message or a short little sentence answering the question, how would your abilities help you on a quest? So I think this works pretty well because it connects back to Min's identity as a gumiho, or a nine-tailed fox, and it helps students build up their creative writing and art skills, or creativity in general, and flexibility. It helps students engage with one another and learn about different cultures and their folklore. And I think that's really amazing, because every time I learn more about a specific culture, I get chills on my body, and I feel like I'm slowly falling in love with it. Like it's really beautiful, and I love it. So I think this activity is pretty good for a book like this one. Thank you.